One of the themes that runs through the writing of history is the idea that one is going to spill the beans and get the secret history of something, the genuine history, which usually involves some sort of revelations of just how terrible it all was. And with me today I have Dr. Frances Knight, who's an expert in the history of modern Christianity, and she's going to speak about this book, Walsh's Secret History of the Oxford Movement. Frances, why is this an interesting book?
Well, I decided it would be worth making a little film on this one because Walter Walsh, I think, is really the patron saint of mad religion on the internet.
That's some claim.
That is some claim. Obviously the internet did not exist during his lifetime. I think he died in 1912. But if it had, he would have been all over it. It is exactly that kind of tone of mad polemic that we encounter often on religious matters in the internet. One of the reasons, of course, why we make these films. Somebody wrote in recently, say, these people are not glamorous, but they know what they're talking about. So,
well, we hope, yeah.
Whoever you were, thank you for that comment. But no, Walter Walsh, who I am guessing, although he was born in Folkestone, with a name like that was probably of Irish descent, was a extreme Protestant who wanted to unmask what he saw as the Roman Catholic direction of the Church of England. And so he focuses on the High Church revival known as the Oxford Movement. The book comes out right at the end of the 19th century, 1898, but he's actually looking back, as he says in the title, to the history of the Oxford Movement. So he's not actually writing about ritualism as it was at the time, but the origins of it.
And the usually accepted date for the beginnings of the Oxford Movement is the Assize Sermon by John Keble of 1833. So he's looking at a period of 66 years, roughly.
Yeah, essentially he's going from 1833. A lot of the material that he's writing about there is from the 1860s. And
there's an interesting phenomenon about religion on the internet, and that is that it tends to go out towards extremes. The people keep going more and more, almost proving to the other people that they're more of something than the other people. Is that an element in this book?
Yes, it is. Certainly he manages to, I suppose, he is actually a member of the Church of England himself, but he manages to put the most extreme version of Anglican Protestantism that one could possibly imagine forward. But he has, to some extent though, he is helped by some of the tendencies which were displayed by the members of the Oxford Movement. And they did have sometimes a tendency towards wanting to believe that things should be kept private. So the whole sort of secrecy trope, you can see that which is the word that he repeats most frequently. If one were to scan the text of that book and work out how many times the word secrecy appears, it would really be almost on every page. The kind of ammunition that he got for doing that comes from some of things like one of the Oxford Movement tracts on reserve in communicating religious doctrine, Isaac Watts's tract 80. So it's that idea of not casting your pearls before swine.
Right.
That there were certain aspects of religion should be kind of revealed gradually to people, not kind of proclaimed from the housetops. So he takes this point really and then sort of uses that as a kind of hammer with which to hammer a whole variety of different things really.
And of course once history is seen to be working within the conspiracy trope, you have to have a secret thing there which you can then reveal.
Yeah, essentially he's a conspiracy theorist.
Right.
So everything is seen as secret. Everything is seen as really indicating that Rome is going to take over, or has indeed taken over control of the Church of England.
So it's not just a conspiracy, it's the secret of an invading takeover.
Yeah.
That's another sub-trope within conspiracy history.
Yeah.
And needless to say, you've spotted it.
Yeah, exactly. He spotted it. And actually, I mean, one of the interesting things which intrigues me is that book is really unreadable. It's I mean, as often with mad religion, it just kind of goes on and on and on and on. But there are many editions available at present, so it's been republished.
Right.
If you look on Amazon, you'll find loads of different editions. One of the interesting things about Amazon, of course, is that it tells you that people that bought this book also bought.
All right.
So books that they also bought were, Rome has taken over Washington. The Pope was involved in the assassination of President Lincoln. You know, clearly there is a sort of...
so the theme is still a living theme.
Yes. Well, it was a very, very popular book at the time, has to be said. So it was a real bit of Protestant propaganda, which clearly some people are still finding of interest.
But also a curious test case on the whole notion of the historian and how history can often be used as a cover for conspiracy theory. Francis, for revealing this, for talking to us about this one book, thank you, because from this one book you've actually opened up a whole theme in religious discourse both then and now.
Thanks.
Thank you.